Remember when you couldn't stop thinking about them? When everything felt perfect? That was the honeymoon phase. The honeymoon phase is not love. It is just excitement, and most of us confuse the two. We think that feeling, that obsessive butterflies in your stomach, cannot stop thinking about them feeling. We think that is what love is supposed to feel like forever. And when it goes away, we panic. We think something is wrong. We think we fell out of love. But here's the truth. That feeling was never really love. It was just the beginning. Let me explain. When you first meet someone you really like, your brain kind of goes into overdrive. You start noticing everything about them. The way they laugh, the things they say, how they make you feel when they text you back. And it feels amazing. Genuinely amazing. Everything they do seems interesting. You want to spend every second with them. You replay conversations in your head. You check your phone constantly. You tell your friends about them all the time, probably too much. And here's the thing, in that phase, the other person can do almost no wrong. If they cancel plans, you make an excuse for them. If they say something a little off, you brush it aside. You are not really seeing them clearly yet. You are seeing the version of them you want them to be. And your brain is basically helping you do that. There is a chemical reason for this. When you are in that early stage, your brain is flooded with feel-good chemicals. Dopamine, which is the same thing that makes gambling or social media feel rewarding, and your levels of serotonin actually drop, which is the same thing that happens in people with obsessive thoughts. So, in a way, early love is a little bit like being obsessed. You literally cannot stop thinking about them. That is why the honeymoon phase feels so intense. It is not just emotion, it is your whole brain chemistry being rearranged for a while. And that is also why you ignore red flags. When you are that deep in it, the brain filters out the things that do not fit the story you have already written. Someone treats you a little coldly one day, and you tell yourself they were just stressed. Someone says something that bothers you, and you let it go because everything else feels so good. You are not stupid for doing this. It is just what happens when excitement takes the wheel. But here's what nobody tells you. That phase has an expiry date. It does not last forever for anyone. Not for the couple who seem perfect on Instagram. Not for the people who got married after 6 months and swore they had found their soulmate. Not for anyone. Usually, somewhere between 6 months and 2 years in, things start to shift. The texts become less frequent. The effort drops a little. You stop dressing up as much. You stop trying to impress each other constantly. You start seeing the real person, the one who leaves dishes in the sink, the one who gets moody for no reason, the one who is not always funny or charming or exciting. And it can feel like a loss, because something that used to feel electric now feels normal, comfortable, quiet, and if you were chasing that electric feeling, quiet can feel like an ending. Here's the mistake people make, and I think it is a really common one. They feel the excitement fading and they think the relationship is dying. They start asking themselves, do I still love this person? Why do I not feel the same way I used to? Maybe we are not right for each other anymore. And sometimes they leave. They go find someone new. And for a little while, the electric feeling comes back. The butterflies return. The obsession is back, and they think, yes, this is the one, this is real love. Until that fades too. And the cycle repeats. Some people spend years doing this without realizing what is happening. They are not finding love. They are just chasing the beginning of love over and over again. And the beginning, as good as it feels, is not the whole story. So what does real love actually look like? It is honestly a lot less dramatic than what we see in movies. Real love is when you know someone's flaws, the real ones, not the cute kind, and you still choose to be with them. It is when you have had a fight, a real fight where things got said and you both come back and figure it out anyway. It is the quiet Sunday mornings. It is them knowing when you are off, without you having to say anything. It is feeling safe enough to be your actual self, not the version you perform when you're trying to impress someone. It does not always feel like fireworks. Sometimes it just feels like peace, like you are home, and that is not a downgrade. That is actually what you were looking for the whole time. You just did not know it yet because you had been told that love is supposed to feel like chaos. Calm love is real love. It is choosing someone on a Tuesday when nothing special is happening. It is knowing this person is not perfect, and neither are you, and deciding that it is still worth it. So here's what I want to leave you with. If you are in a relationship and the initial excitement has faded, that does not mean it is over. It might just mean you are at the part where real love has the chance to grow. The honeymoon phase was the spark, but sparks do not heat a house. A steady flame does. And if you're someone who keeps leaving relationships the moment they stop feeling new, it might be worth asking yourself, are you looking for love, or are you just looking for that feeling? Because that feeling is not love, it is just the door. What is behind the door, that is what actually matters. Take care of yourselves, and if this made you think about your own relationship, even just for a second, that is enough.